Hello YouTube, I'm Elwirfy, and today we're going to be doing probably, in my opinion, the most difficult part of making the Space Marine Army, and that's going to be taking this stuff apart with these and putting it all together. So what are we going to do first? Because obviously there's a lot of stuff here. You know, we even have like one little sprue just for the commander, just because he has like all these extra stuff that frankly is pretty difficult and kind of annoying to deal with. But I do think that once we take apart all this stuff, we're gonna have a bit better idea of what we want to do. Now for this particular one, we are doing the Death Company, so we are going to be making the Death Company Dreadnought variant. As you can see, there is an instruction manual. Last time I tried to make a Dreadnought, I didn't follow it and it broke, and that's because I didn't have all the pieces, so it wasn't stable. Life. Obviously, we have our glue. Now, if we run out of this glue, we're pretty much going to be unable to build until I get more. So I'm going to see how many of these I can do before we run out. And then once I run out, I'm heading back to Games Workshop. And I hope not, because this stuff is kind of expensive. So we're going to try and be conservative with that. So this is another part where you'd want to also consider kind of what kind of tactics you want to be using on the battlefield. Now, since I already know what I'm going to be doing a full Death Company loadout, so I already know what kind of Dreadnought I want to build. But for most people, you know, like I could, if I wanted to, I could build a Furiosa Dreadnought. I'm not going to. And I do kind of regret that a little bit, because one step is gluing on these, the talons, which are pretty strong. They're good. I like what the Dreadnought can do with them. But I'll admit they're not the most easy to make. I could easily do a Dreadnought that uses a giant cannon, and that's just 2 parts. It's super simple, super easy. Now for this particular model here, it looks like it's also one of the most complicated ones, considering there's 3 pages on it, whereas all the other ones have about roughly 2 pages in total. So we have, this one's 4 pages, other ones are about 3. But as a whole, I would say that it should go pretty smoothly. So step 1, because I don't want you guys to sit through me kind of literally taking out everything that I'm going to need. So what's going to actually be on it? Because this whole thing will probably not be taken apart. We're only going to probably take out what we need, which is going to be the heavy flamer, if you can see that right there. And then the main body of it, as well as like the legs and all that good stuff. So hopefully this doesn't take too long, and I will go ahead and see you guys on the next part. Alright guys, so after a bit of time lapse, I just did this first step right here. I will admit I already did make a little bit of a mistake. I think a little bit of the plastic got warped, so it's not going to be perfectly straight, but you know what? I'd say it looks pretty close to the picture, I'd say. I think we're doing a pretty good job so far. So, our next step is going to, of course, be to go ahead and construct the legs. This is going to be pretty quick, and you'll notice I did switch out my pliers. I'm, in fact, using a little one because we want to make sure that we cut everything and make it as smooth as possible, so that way our models look as good as possible, because we want good-looking models, right? Alright, so according to the instructions, up next we're just going to go ahead and cut out just these 2 bits right here, and then some other stuff. There are numbers on all of these, fortunately, so that helps me out quite a great deal. So, without further ado, we'll go ahead and go to with the leg when the legs are finished. Alright, next. What else have we made in the time? Well, I decided, since I don't want to go through start, stop, editing-wise, it'd be a bit of a pain, I just kind of did every single piece. So here's the legs. As you can see, that's going to go on the underbelly of this. I also added a little attachment on top, kind of cosmetic, not necessary, but still very cool looking in my opinion. We have already created the first arm completely. It is attached with a heavy flamer and the talons. We are going to be using talons. And then I have another arm that's a little bit in pieces here, still waiting on glue to dry. We have another talon, as well as this one is hooked up with a storm bolter. So that's going to give us our Dreadnought a bit more range, so that way it'll be able to deal with combat, even though it is a primarily close combat unit. Also made a cool backpack, and eventually, when I feel like it, once the entire Dreadnought is built, then I'm going to glue it onto the stand in the way I want it to look. So we are getting some pretty good progress so far. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and just Should I lock that in right now? Does it lock in? Yeah, maybe it does lock in. Okay, then I'm going to go ahead and glue a little bit. Let's see what part attaches. Okay, I haven't glued everything yet, so we're going to just finish up some gluing right here on camera. So I figure why not show some of the process in action, though I did skip a lot of stuff on purpose because I don't want to make you guys sit through a ton of waiting around for stuff to dry and all that good stuff. So what else is going to attach? Yeah, I guess pretty much everything. I guess I might as well put glue on this piece as well. Okay, great. Let's just hug these pieces together and they should be fitting pretty well. And then we're going to want to put some glue onto, because this is his backpack kind of, kind of that steampunky-ish thing. So we want to put glue on this little crevice. And I'm sorry, all the models are in fact black. If we were doing red models, it'd be easier to see where I'm gluing. But essentially, we're gluing right, I want to make sure I do the right spot here, right along this little edge. Now, obviously this isn't as in detailed as I would like because there's a lot of gluing that does need to get done, and I don't honestly have the time, nor do I want to make you guys sit through every painstaking little thing. Like this body, this is great and all, but this took a while to do because every little piece had to be put in just right to make it look as good as I can make it. Oh, we got some glue not holding on. Stuff tends to pop up, models can get warped, nothing's perfect. That's just how things go. But we kind of have to accept that and move on and take what we can get. Obviously I'm going to scrape off all the parts where like the sprues were and go back over with that black paint. That's why it's nice to have the black paint. And this looks pretty dry. We can go ahead and glue onto the arm. Now I did make a little bit of an error in my gluing because the instructions aren't very clear as to what to glue. They just say, oh, how do the pieces fit together? Oh, okay, let's do it that way. But unfortunately, they don't tell you what to glue and what not to glue in order to make it the most optimal. So I'm actually going to have a little bit of a wonky arm in terms of what, for the blood talons, because unfortunately, they were not very clear to me about what to glue and what not to glue. So we're going to have a little bit of a arm issue. Stay together as I glue this, please. Fill this up with glue to make sure everything stays nice and connected. We're going to glue on the inside. Right now we're gluing at the wrists of this Dreadnought, and just to make sure this kind of holds up. Okay, and I want to let it go because I don't want to hold it. Because if I have to hold it in place, that means it's not really getting dried. The glue isn't really doing its job, and that's not at all what we want. Most of this is still pretty wet. As you can see, we just made the arm with the talon and the heavy bolters. We're going to kind of rest that against that base just in case. And according to our instruction booklet, once that's done, we just kind of attach the final things. So let's go ahead and put some glue down onto these legs. We'll want to get the body attached to the legs, of course. Dreadnoughts are pretty big compared to a Space Marine, but they're not ridiculously big because a Dreadnought is essentially supposed to be this giant warrior. Like, it's just a Space Marine who got so fucked up in battle but still had the strength to keep fighting that the Emperor was like, hey, why don't we just force this guy to keep fighting even though he really shouldn't be because his body is just so completely effed up. And, I don't think the Space Marine cared because they probably would have killed him if they didn't put him in a nice heavy suit of armor that would stabilize his life. Now, why haven't I glued him to the base yet? Well, frankly, because I want to kind of make sure that he's positioned to look right first before we go about the gluing process. Hopefully you can see what I've got so far. Currently checking to make sure everything's lined up right, because this is the most important thing. If he's tilted in any wrong way, that would just suck, because then it'll be like, oh no, wouldn't be good, but I think he's looking great. I think our Dreadnought is about to almost be complete. There are a lot of pieces I didn't end up using simply because, well, the Dreadnought's not, perfect and stuff. Now there are some cool accessories that I may or may not put on. And I'm probably going to do that just because, why not? I think, but they are not necessary, and I'll see how much of a pain they are to put on and off. I don't want to take up too much time doing that, and then eventually we're going to get this guy, and he's going to be awesome. Now, granted, no gun on it. It will have the talons. And in fact, this is actually just what a regular Dreadnought looks like. What are you going to do, you know? Alright. So this arm's doing okay. Now, unfortunately, once again, the parts are going to look like, pretty much our Dreadnought's going to look completely fine. Like, it's not going to look bad or anything. But at the same time, it's, because of the way Games Workshop has decided to build these things, I'm going to have to do a little bit of my own gluing techniques and such in order to make sure everything fits. Because for some reason, like there's these pegs, right? Games Workshop loves doing pegs. I think pegs are great. I have a whole Space Marine who isn't even glued together because they're just pegs. But that being said, it doesn't hurt to have pegs that actually fit. Because these pegs, for some reason, I don't know why, apparently they don't fit in all the way. I don't know why they did that. Oh, I glued the wrong side. Oh well, it's fine. I mean, we're still gonna use it, but don't worry. But actually, that means I have to rush to get this arm put together, which is fine. I don't want to let the glue dry, essentially, because that'll be really bad for it. And most of this stuff where I'm gluing is, of course, going to be hidden from view. We do want our models to look as nice and beautiful as possible. So let's not let him get too wonky. Oh, shit. Okay. And I'm just going to kind of hold him there. Position. Kind of going to figure that out. Okay. We're just going to kind of hold it like this, and we're going to wait for everything to dry. I want to make sure we're still lined up correctly. Yeah, I guess he will. He looks fine. He looks fine. He'll be fine. Don't worry about it. In fact, we're really careful. Even try inserting glue right there, because once again, the goal is, of course, to make sure that everything is attached without us having to hold on to it. Now, if this doesn't work, I'm going to have to scrape off some stuff and do some massive cutting and such. I don't want to. That'd be a big pain for me in terms of like what that entails to do. So we're going to just let that stay. Okay, cool. Then we're trying to get the other arm glued on. Oh, no, it's falling. Okay. How are we going to do this? Let's be smart about this. Let's lean it up against other models. No, that's not going to work. It's the legs. Oh, Games Workshop, you know, I like you guys, but you make your models infuriating to glue. Yeah, okay, we're going to have to do this the smart way. I'm going to have to scrape off a piece of my Dreadnought in order to make it fit. Oh, this is not going to look pretty, guys. Yeah, that was not pretty. Did not want to do that. I feel really bad about it, too, but it was the only way to ensure that this thing can get glued properly. Yeah, I feel bad. I did not want to do that at all. That was not my intention in the slightest. Make sure I glue up the correct one. And then hopefully, yeah, because this will allow us to just kind of lean it up against itself. And so the arm is going to be closer to the body, which is fine. And this we can just kind of press down and hold. See? Isn't that guy going to... He's going to look great. Trust me. When he's up on the battlefield, and I'm going to do battle reports. Like, no doubt. There are going to be battle reports on this channel. Yeah, I got black on me because of paint. But that's okay. Let's kind of glue around the body a bit more. Is the body really glued down? Because we need the glue to dry. If we keep moving the torso and the legs around each other, they're never going to lock into place. And then we don't... Then we have a Dreadnought that keeps falling over, and that's not good. We want our Dreadnought to be sturdy and firm. Jesus, that does not sound right. But who cares? Because everything should be centered, everything should be lined up. You know what? We're going to go ahead and glue the feet down onto the base. So that way it will stand appropriately. I want this Dreadnought to be stable. Because the last time I built a Dreadnought, I broke it horribly. It went really bad. I should not have been building a Dreadnought 2 years ago. Space Marines came out fine. They were easy, they're simple, not too bad to do. I'm going to have to do that same thing to the other arm. Well, no one said doing this was perfect, but check it out. I think you know, for the first model of all this, I think it went pretty well. I'm going to have to do some amazing construction work here, guys. I hate this. Okay, did it. It's done. Can't go back. I mean, I could go back actually if I really wanted to with the glue, but not going to. Alright, let's re-glue on top of all this. Oh god. Put some glue on this part. Just quickly grab this. And hold it in place. We're just going to hold it for a second here, guys. Make sure that it's all quite nifty and locked in, and then we're just going to let them sit. We're going to let them dry, and then we're going to have ourselves a Dreadnought. And this was probably the most difficult of all the models to do, just because it's has the most pieces. Because the Space Marine, like each individual Space Marine, yeah, there's a lot of them. And yeah, it's going to take some time. Definitely. No doubt about it. All these Marines are going to need to be done. But the individual Space Marine isn't that bad to do. Like, it's only like maybe 10 pieces. This Dreadnought right here, more like 30 pieces. So I'm very happy to say that this, once this is out of the way, we'll have created the most difficult one of all the models. So that'll be good. Come on. I'm gonna tip you. I don't want to tip you because you're very fragile. Okay. New strategy, more glue. That's the answer to everything. More frickin' glue. In my opinion. Can you get too much glue? Sure. I'm sure you can get too much glue. Not doubting that at all, but if we find a way, we can always succeed. Plus, this is Death Company, so I mean, these guys, the guys that I'm building, nothing compared to the Blood Angels. Man, when it's red models, one, it looks better on camera, but I mean, if you want to, I'm trying to turn. I can't obviously make it look perfect right now, but yeah, it'll come along just nicely. I want to put glue in there. I'm gonna wait and let it kind of dry. And when all this glue is dried, Dreadnought will be done. Come on, glue. Yeah, it kind of sucks. But on the bright side, not only is that done, but so this guy's about what, 200 points, something like that, for a Dreadnought, for the Death Company Dreadnought. I'd say it's worth the labor that goes into this. Okay. Gonna glue on the outside. And maybe underneath. There's already glue there, but let's try and glue some more. Because no one looks at the underside of a Dreadnought, I hope. Oh. Okay. Okay. Got it? He's holding on. Look fine. I want to lean him up against something and just kind of balance him. That is going to be it for this episode, you guys. As soon as I can figure out a way to. It needs to be something soft. Okay, we're going to try and balance him ever so carefully. Perfect. Okay. I know to you guys it's not much to look at, but trust me, when it's done, it'll be great. Alright, hope you guys enjoyed that episode of building all of the frickin' Space Marines. Next episode, I think we'll probably just go after the chaplain guy. I think he'll be pretty fun to do. It's just this guy right here and all of his little bits. So that'll be a good little small episode, so that way you guys don't have to sit through long stuff. Damn it, the arm is falling. Gotta angle it differently. Gotta angle it differently. Don't know how to do this. This last arm, once it gets glued on, it'll be fine. Okay. Well, I'm going to end it there, guys. Hope you all enjoyed. And I'm Elwirfy, and I'll see you guys next time.